For additional context on the scope of Mueller's role, I spoke to former U S Prosecutor Michael Wildes, and I began by asking him what could possibly happen with Mueller's findings.
He would be collecting information. It would be up to the Justice Department then to decide how they would want to respond. And ultimately, if you look at it from a snapshot point of view, he'll be reflecting on past acts to see if they broke any federal laws. And it would be up to the Justice Department to pursue a prosecution, and Congress. Congress could independently conduct their own investigation or move the action forward if they wanted to. The problem is that this is such new territory, despite the passage of Watergate and the experiences that we've had a generation ago. This is a case of first impression. This gentleman, Robert Mueller himself, is a former Marine. He's a decorated soldier from the Vietnam. I think he understands the stakes are high, and he's going to have to take action if he feels that there's a breach. Now, we want this to be done. Both sides of the aisle, our president and the people of the nation, need to have closure here. Were the Russians acting in any untoward way? Were there people around the president that acted inappropriately? And of course, if our president stepped out of line, because he's a gentleman who actually is not a skilled politician. He is literally doing things instinctively and trying to make good on promises that he told people. And if he stepped out of line inadvertently, or was less than politic, or was there a criminal trespass?
How is a special counsel different from an independent counsel?
Okay, so a special counsel is set up from the Attorney General's office itself. An independent counsel or tribunal would be set up by third parties. It's an interesting experience, and I'm an immigration lawyer by trade and a former federal prosecutor. So you do have immigration judges, for example, that are often paid by the Justice Department, the same people that are paying the prosecutors. So, you know, in many ways, it's a cast of characters that's assembled. The Deputy Attorney General, because of the recusal of the Attorney General, felt that this might be the best approach. Instead of having a committee and a panel of other people, to have one person that's respected by all chambers, by all sides of the aisle, to make sure that they move forward. And I believe ultimately it was the memo that the FBI Director Comey did about the conversations he had with the president that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Can the president or the acting attorney general remove or fire Mueller for any reason going forward?
Yes, but it would be awkward for them to do that, and they could be accused of politics. We've seen this happen, like I said, decades ago. My father, years ago, represented John Lennon when Richard Nixon was using a trumped-up immigration beat to get him. And we see how this whole escapade with President Nixon evolved, much the way this is, through significant leaks and articles in the Washington Post. The media here, and this new normal of social media, has exposed tremendously the communications, the relationship, the financial affairs of a lot of people around the president. And it's our prayer, of course, that the president himself does not tangled up in anything. And if there are people around him that were, that it's ferreted out for our own structural integrity, and more importantly, to make sure that our adversary internationally, Russia, does not get ground within our nation's homeland.